Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
And I'm Nick Kinzel.
And we got a special episode this week. NASCAR is hitting the streets of Chicago for the first time. Definitely gonna be a crazy one for sure. Buddy, we've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, this is gonna be something. I don't know how the race itself is gonna go, but hopefully, I'll be honest, I'm not looking forward to it. Because there's a great racetrack about 30 miles south of Chicago that we should be racing at, but that's how I think a lot of us feel right now too. So don't have high hopes for this one, and I think it's honestly just going to be a shit show because there's just gonna be so many challenges. We've never seen anything like this before, so it's gonna be insane.
Yeah, never seen anything like this before, especially who knows if the smoke is still going to be hanging around. There's a chance of rain coming in this weekend too, so
Of
it's
course.
it's going to be wild. But the only positive that I see for this weekend is that it's going to bring more attention of NASCAR to this area. And if this weekend is a success and it brings in a ton of fans, and they don't continue on with their contract for the street course, maybe they can go down to Joliet if they want to stay in the Chicago market, and it'll bring more fans there. I think this would be a win for Chicagoland Speedway.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the big problem with Chicagoland Speedway over there, no matter how good the racing might have been, they didn't sell tickets. Yeah, we're there at the racetrack. It looks full from there, but you look at some of the shots from like TV and photos and everything like that. They do not sell tickets to that place. So eventually, I think that's why they stopped going. I mean, the people didn't show up. They weren't going to keep coming back. So, yeah, I agree with you. Hopefully, that this can put the eyes back into Chicago, and we can get the Chicago market back up, so we can go back down to Chicagoland Speedway because I think we all want to see how these next gen cars race on that old surface.
Yeah, absolutely. And so far, from what I've heard, it's been pretty positive with all the ticket sales. So hopefully we'll see NASCAR back in Joliet next year.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so before we dig into everything else, let's start off with our diecast of the week. Buddy, what you got for us?
I have a new one for the first time in like God knows how long. I just got this one not that long ago. It was my dad who got it for me actually, and we're going back to 2020 here. When old Trevor Bain drove the 40 truck, the Plan B sales truck for Nice. That was so. It was just almost kind of random. It was like, all right, we're going racing again. Like it just came out of nowhere because
Yeah, they announced it like what, halfway through the season, and
it
they were
was
like, "Yeah, he's gonna run like what, 5 races?"
Yeah, it was Darlington. It was literally like throughout the last 10 races of the season, he ran like six of them. And it was just out of nowhere because up until this point, he's been out of the sport since 2018 and nobody really heard much about him. Nobody knew what he was up to because he had the coffee business. Didn't look like he was going back racing anytime soon. And then pops up, does this, and then what does he do? He disappears again. He doesn't race at all in 2021. And then he got the Xfinity ride. And 22, but hopefully we just keep getting him back in the seat. This truck is beautiful, by the way. The red, the white, and the blue, and it is signed, of course. But it's also weird seeing old T Bane with some rookie stripes here with the rookie.
Yeah, that's right,
But yeah,
because he never ran trucks really before.
the that would Darlington was his first ever truck start, so
Wow.
that's crazy to think about. But yeah, finally get to add one to the T Bane collection. It's been 5 years since I got my last Trevor Bane diecast. So thanks, Dad, for this one.
Yeah, that's a cool one for sure. All right, so for my diecast of the week, we just said it. NASCAR is coming back to Chicago. I had to bust out my special Chicago Cubs diecast that I found on eBay a couple years ago. Pretty damn cool. Got it signed by Kurt Busch when I saw him in person at Sluggers right by Wrigley Field.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and the Chicago Cubs are doing their NASCAR night tomorrow. They're doing the Clark Cub in fire suit bobblehead, so that should be pretty cool. Hopefully, there's some drivers there. I mean, it's a couple days before all the action starts, so who knows? Might see Kurt Busch there. Maybe he'll sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." That'd be pretty damn
Yeah,
cool.
for sure. It's just a damn shame that we have a White Sox car in the field this weekend, but we don't get a Chicago Cubs car.
Yeah, fucking.
It's only fitting
Well,
though. It's only fitting though. A shitty ass baseball organization pairs up with a shitty ass driver. So yeah, it makes sense.
yeah, well, and it also makes sense because the Cubs owners just don't want to spend any money on anything that's seems
Let's
like it'd
go.
be worth a damn. So
Let's go buy a soccer team. That's what we want to do with our money.
Yeah, right. But I think if Kurt Busch was still running, I think he would be running the Cubs car because that's the number one Cubs fan in NASCAR.
Right. Absolutely.
Alrighty, so let's talk about some top stories. Old Sheldon Creed docked 25 points, docked $25,000 for intentionally wrecking Sammy Smith. And I think he really would have gotten away with it if he didn't go over his radio and said, I'm going to wreck this guy. Because it looked like he just got loose in the turn and got into him. But you you got yourself in trouble, buddy. You can't do that.
I'm surprised with this. Is like what I'm surprised they almost didn't hand him out a one race suspension. I mean, the dude admitted to it, and then you can go back at the data and see it. So going back to like earlier in the season with these guys getting parked for a race, I mean, it wasn't like anything dangerous or anything like that. But I
Yeah,
feel
I'd
like
say it was more comparable to what Denny did to Ross earlier this year. Like it
right,
wasn't he didn't right rear him like what we saw with Bubba
right.
or Chase Elliott do. It wasn't as violent of a wreck. That if you're gonna take someone out on purpose, that's the spot to do it in the turn. It's not as dangerous. So I think they looked at it as it wasn't a move where he wanted to actually like fuck him up. I don't know. I think he just wanted to kind of send a message, and the message got sent a little too far.
That's huge. That's 25 points right there. And Sheldon Creed fighting for his playoff life right now. I mean, he has yet to find victory lane in the Xfinity Series. He's ran decent at some times this year. He's definitely running a little bit better than he was a season ago. But we got 9 races, or it's like I think it's 10 races to go before the Xfinity Series playoffs get underway. So can't be losing points like that, doing dumb shit like that.
Yeah, not a good move. And I'm sure everyone heard about it, but Jimmy Johnson has withdrawn from the race this weekend after the tragic events that happened with his family. I really don't feel like talking about it. It's way too sad, but thoughts and prayers are with the Johnson family. It
Yeah,
just sucks to see because Jimmy Johnson's one of the greatest, and it was going to be cool to see him on a street race. But more important things.
yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty, so let's talk Nashville real quick. Carson Hocevar won the truck race on Friday night, and this was a legit win. He didn't have to turn anybody for it. He actually ran a very, very clean race the whole time. So if this kid just keeps running like that, he is definitely going to be a championship favorite this year.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before. If he doesn't run like he's run, like running into guys like he's accustomed to doing, he finally got him a legit one. So yeah, cool to see. He is just his stock is going up right now in terms of getting a better seat for next season. Whether that probably going to be in the Xfinity Series, that would be my guess. But yeah, his stock just continues to rise and keeps doing good things like this. I also want to shout out Bailey Curry for Nice Motorsports. He ran top 5 the entire night. Hell, he led some laps. He led his first career laps. So that was cool to see. Good night for Nice for sure.
Oh hell yeah, I love to see that for Bailey Curry. That's a guy that's been running in these shit cars for a long time. He finally got a good opportunity, and he showed it. So hope to see more out of this kid.
Absolutely.
And AJ Alderald Allmendinger wins on Saturday, shows up against the little kids. I mean,
Okay.
that's what did you say last
What
week?
did I say last week? They put him in this car because Chris Rice was tired of him being a whiny little bitch on Sundays because he sucks on Sundays and he's miserable. So he had to go back to his precious Xfinity Series so he can go beat up on the little kids again. That's exactly what he did.
Yep.
That's just Chris Rice keeping AJ in line. So Yeah, fuck that.
keeping him from retiring again.
Yeah, they don't want to lose him. They don't want to lose him, so they're just like, all right, fine, have at it.
No, and I think that might have actually helped him out for Sunday because he actually had a pretty good race himself for the Cup Series. He was holding top 15 the whole time, which is an improvement for these colored Cup cars.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a real struggle for them this season, especially with AJ Allmendinger. He just doesn't look like he's having any fun. And we remember
No.
the last time AJ wasn't having any fun in a Cup car when he was driving the 47. Oh man.
Crazy times. Alrighty, and then kind of the same story as Carson Hocevar. Ross Chastain actually ran himself a very, very clean race. I think he listened to all the criticism. He listened to his owners about calming down a little bit, and he finally did it. And he actually won himself a clean race. Um, the Melon Man did it. Do you think that he could possibly win back NASCAR fans' hearts, if he keeps
No.
running clean like this and kind of
Well,
forgets his crazy past?
if he keeps running clean like this, sure, but that win ain't gonna do him anything. But yeah, he finally put together a clean race for once. I mean, really, the last couple weeks, we haven't heard a lot about Ross Chastain. They did have a sit down with him weeks ago, and then maybe that related to what was going on the racetrack because he just didn't. It doesn't look like he was being as aggressive as he once was. Like I said, I don't want him to get away from that aggressive side, but you gotta keep it in control at the same time. You can't be doing reckless crap. Like I want to see him be aggressive, but I don't want to see him drive like a jackass. But I don't know. But he finally got one clean. That was huge for him after these past couple weeks he's been struggling, and for Trackhouse Racing in general. I mean, that's a home that's their home race right there. They're based out in Nashville, so that's pretty cool for them.
Yeah, pretty damn cool. And Suarez had the Tootsie's car as well, so definitely a big home race for them. Alrighty, so let's talk the Chicago Street Course. Like we said, it's the first of its kind that we're seeing. A little bit over 2 miles going through Lakeshore Drive, driving through Grant Park. It's gonna be wild for sure. They've had these streets closed down for a couple weeks, but they're just a couple days away from green flag, buddy. It's gonna be wild.
It's the key. There, like you can do all the iRacing, all the sim that you want, but until you get out onto that racetrack for the first time, you just don't know what to expect. And I think the key for this weekend for both series is that who's going to win this thing is who's going to survive, who's going to keep their car clean, and who's going to survive. There's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of wrecks in both races
It's
because
quite a
I
few
just,
90-degree turns.
yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of wrecks, and it's just who can keep their car clean up until the end and put them in the best spot to win. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, that's for sure. The track does look a little bit wider than from when they did the Pro Invitational a couple years ago. So hopefully we see maybe some passing on those long straightaways because that's really the only part where you're going to see it.
Right.
All right, so let's talk the Xfinity race. We got the Loop 121, 121-mile race, 55 laps. Stages 1 and 2 are 15 laps each, and the final is 25 laps. No Cup drivers running in this because it's the first time at this track. That's just the rules for NASCAR right now. But we do have a NASCAR Cup Series owner coming into the Xfinity Series race. Justin Marks is going to be coming back into the Xfinity Series, running the 10 car for Colleague Racing. And buddy, I'm going first with my pick. I'm picking Justin Marks.
Yeah.
He won at Mid Ohio a couple years ago when he did that one off with Chip Ganassi Racing. And yeah, this guy, he's a thrill seeker, and I think he's going to put the pedal to the metal on Saturday.
Yeah, I hate to be a stinker here, but he is my pick too. And here's why. I mean, like I said, this is just a racetrack that nobody's ever seen before. But Justin Marks has so much road racing experience. So it's been a while since he's last been in a seat, but he's been into like some sports cars and stuff like that. So he's still getting with it. So yeah, I think he's gonna be the one to beat. It's just the key, like I said, is can he keep his car clean all day? He's got to keep his car clean all day. Got to try and avoid the chaos that's going to happen because a lot of people are going to make mistakes. It's going to be a lot of wrecks. So if he's there at the end, yeah, I think he's got a great shot. And yeah, he's my pick to win too.
Yeah. Honorable mention for me. I want to see Parker Kligerman win just so he can jump into Buckingham Fountain because that's what he said he's going to do if he wins the Xfinity race. So that'd be pretty
That'd be
funny.
great.
Alrighty, so let's talk the Cup Series race. Grant Park 220-220 mile race, 100 laps. Stage 1 is 20 laps, stage 2 is 25, and the final will be a 55-lap sprint. Yeah, no notables really in this race. We got a couple of F1 guys coming in. We've seen Jensen Button. I think he's running the 15 car. Can't really remember who's driving the 91.
Yeah, I'm not too
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, but I know the 91 is coming back for this race, so pretty cool to see. But buddy, we're at a road course. There's really, or street course, really only a couple of guys I can see that would be winning this race that are pretty good on the road courses. Who do you think's one of them?
Well, yeah, you think your road guys are going to be good. Like obviously, a guy like Allmendinger is going to probably jump to the top of the list for many here, but I'm not going to go with the guy who has had the best success on the road courses, but I'm going to go with the guy who's had a lot of success on new racetracks that we run on. And
Oh,
I'm taking, yeah, you know where I'm going with this.
oh
I
man.
have to do it. He wins the inaugural everything. I am taking the 22 car of Joey Logano. He's had, I think he's won Watkins Glen before. He's been
That's going back.
That's going back. I think he has some road. I think he has at least one road course win. But like I said, inaugural racetrack fits Joey Logano to a T. Winning at the LA Coliseum in that inaugural running, Bristol Dirt, and then honestly, I've talked about this before with Joey Logano. He just seems to be the guy that can adapt the best to these new situations because he's just that talented of a race car driver. So yeah, I hate that pick a lot, but yeah, Joey Logano I think is going to be the one to do it.
All right. Yeah, that's not a bad pick at all. And you know what? I'm kind of going towards your way too. I am not going for a road course ringer just because there's just going to be so much unpredictability in this race. I think you got to go for someone who can stay clean, who's a smart driver, and who is in their final season. I'm going with the 4 car Kevin
Ow.
Harvick. He's looked strong at the road courses in the past, but this is completely different. I think that this man, he is one of the cleanest drivers in NASCAR, doesn't really get into any shit. So I think Kevin is going to keep it clean and win in Chicago, and I'm going to be pissed that I'm not there.
That's a solid one right there.
Yeah, that would be wild. But, buddy, we're about to wrap it up. Do you got any final thoughts on NASCAR in Chicago this weekend and
I
us
just
not being there?
yeah. I'm sorry, but I'm not paying $265 to go sit in some shitty bleacher on some where I can't.
No. If you want to sit in bleachers, you got to pay like $460.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does the 265 get you then? A grass spot?
Yeah,
A
no,
street
that just gets you standing up, walking in general admission, and God knows where. So
spot? Yeah.
yeah,
They totally struck out. Like this feels like an F1 kind of race.
that's what
to
they're
me,
doing.
with
That's how
the
they're
price.
treating it.
And yeah, I hate this, but yeah, so I'm not too upset that I'm gonna be missing this one, not being there in person. But I just want to know what the over under is on how many cautions we're gonna see in both races because I am slamming the over all day and that's what I don't want to see is half this race being run under caution. So hopefully these guys figure out a way to keep it clean, but they're race car drivers. They're not going to. It's going to be crazy. So this is something we've never seen before. So we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, gonna be one for the books, that's for sure. But thanks everybody for tuning in. If you haven't yet, make sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel. And you can check us out on Twitter and Instagram. For the Stock Car Spectacle, I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Nick Kinsel.
And enjoy Chicago.